Hi everyone, this is your announcement for week 8. I have a little bit more to go over this week, so I'm using a little bit of a different method for recording my video. So let's just get into what we're going to be looking at for this week. So last week we entered into servant leadership, and I had you compare and contrast terms from power and influence to servant leadership. And the reason why we do that is so you see overlap and connection. It does not matter what organization you're a part of, what leadership role or style you use, power and influence is in every organizational context. So even if you deem yourself to be a servant leader or you strive to have certain servant leadership characteristics, you still have power and you still have influence strategies that are successful. You just might use different influence strategies than someone else if you're practicing in a servant leadership mindset. Things like empathy and listening are going to be really important to you, and therefore you might use influence tactics such as ingratiation, consultation. You're going to do things to really build up community, as opposed to using some other types that might be more like pressure tactics, which we know aren't always as successful. So it's important for you to understand that the dynamics of power and influence play out in any leadership situation and in any type of context. So this week what we're going to do is we're going to look at how servant leadership is measured. Some scholars out there believe that servant leadership is flawed in the fact that it demands too much from a leader. How can we expect a leader to listen to everything, place their follower needs above their own, build community, and do all this at the same time? It almost seems like we set an individual up for failure because we're looking for perfection. That actually isn't the case. I really deem servant leadership to be more of a legacy, something that you choose to do that becomes more of a lifelong journey, if you will, and how you choose to lead and serve others. And having this idea of a whole person, mind, body, and spirit kind of connection when you think of yourself as a leader. So there are times when we're faced with competing priorities and it's impossible to be everything a servant leader is supposed to be at once. However, again, it's kind of this value that we have, or this lifelong goal to serve in this humanistic way. And so that's really what servant leadership is really all about. So today we're going to look at how people have gone about measuring servant leadership, and then we're going to test our knowledge by engaging in a debate. And this assignment takes a little bit more collaboration than some that we've had in the past, so I'm going to walk you through it. Just some important notes and reminders. This week you have a midterm peer assessment due, if you will. You're going to be evaluating yourself and your group members, and I'm asking for this to be completed on Friday. You'll do this by using a link to a Google form. You're also going to have an opportunity for some extra credit next week as we're starting to get into the mid-semester point with this course. I am going to collaborate with my teaching team, and we're going to get a calendar up. And so I'll have that posted today. We're going to use the same format as we did before. We'll use a meet-up calendar. And so what I'd like to ask you to do is sign up sooner than later. Everyone should be signed up by Friday of this week if you'd like to have a meeting with us. That way, going into Monday, we know who's scheduled when, and we can be available for you on Zoom. So there's 2 links. There'll be a link posted for you to go into the Zoom, and then you'll just, again, sign up for your time. These meetings won't last very long. They'll just be a check-in for you to ask questions, and so we can talk about how you think the course is going. Something else I'd like to take a quick moment to visit is just thinking about your group expectations. We've been moving full steam along. You've been working a lot in collaboration with your groups. You've all had experiences to be group leaders, and so this is a good time to revisit your compact of understanding. Are you following the contract that you as a team developed? Are you holding each other accountable? Are assignment leaders upholding their responsibilities when they're in charge of delegating the tasks and making sure that assignments are getting completed? In essence, I'd like you to think of this class as an organization. So ALEC 302 in itself is this organization. You can consider me one of those pieces of the organization. And then I would say the teaching team would be the next piece of the organization because they hold some power as well. Then lastly, we have all of your groups, which are almost like different departments within our organization. And all of these different departments have people within them. And so the people within your department or within your group have to work interdependently and rely on one another to get tasks accomplished. This week, we're going to be a little bit more complex and ask for a little bit more interdependency. Groups are actually going to have to work together when we do the debate assignment. So now it's like our departments are having to co-collaborate. So really think about those expectations that you have within your groups in terms of getting things done. Look at your method of communication. Is it working? Is it not working? Is there anything that needs to be readdressed? Also, use your group peers as resources. I do not mind fielding questions or getting questions, but sometimes I get questions that I think could easily be answered by utilizing your group members. So if you're confused about an individual assignment, a process, a reading, this is the same thing that you do in the classroom. If you don't understand something and you lean over to your buddy and say, I didn't get that. Did you get that? Like, can you explain it to me? So use your group. Ask them, did you complete this assignment? Is anybody else struggling? And if multiple people are struggling, then I can answer the question and maybe I need to address the whole class and I don't realize that something isn't clear. So ask your group members for support. Ask them how they completed their individual work if you're confused. Also, please use the teaching team. That's why they're there. Everybody in the teaching team has taken ALEC 302. They've completed it successfully, and they've been handpicked and asked to be teaching assistant for this course. And so they are wonderful resources. I, too, am a resource. I'm always here to answer questions, but I just want to make sure you're using the resources that are available to you to be the most successful that you can be in ALEC 302. An online class can be, as we know, it's different than a face-to-face class. And so since I can't interact with you, bi-weekly or twice a week, then it gets a little bit difficult and communication can sometimes be lost. So just really make sure you're using your resources. Also, as you remember maybe on page 2 of the syllabus, this class is not an autonomous class where you get to work solely on your own and move forward. This class is very structured for an online course. It is set up week by week for you to complete quizzes, individual and group assignments. If you are a very busy student and you were really wanting a class where you could work at your own pace and not really have to be delegated by a week by week schedule, please check in with me. Let's problem solve. Let's talk. Let's see, how the class is going. Because I would hate for us to get further and further into the semester if you're really struggling with the structure of this course. Readings for this week, you have 2 readings that are found on Canvas. You're going to be looking at a multidimensional measure by Leiden. I'm not so worried about you understanding all the methodologies that go behind this. It's highly quantitative. It can get confusing. Basically, I want you to understand the backbone behind it and what they found in the measure and why they say the measure is supported. And then also look at measuring servant leadership in organizations by SEDEA. So this is looking at when we measure it in an organization, what are the outcomes? You have 2 additional readings that you'll find in the assignment link. These are to help you with preparing for the debate. I might highly recommend that you get this debate prep worksheet done before Friday. Maybe Wednesday or Thursday could be a deadline for yourself. It will help you in moving forward with the assignment. So just quickly, a week at a glance. Again, you have a replacement quiz. This is a preparation worksheet for the great debate assignment that we have. You have peer evaluations of your group members, and this is through a Google form. By Friday, you need to have an opening statement done for the great debate, and then by Sunday, you will post a rebuttal. So everybody has to have an opening statement posted by Friday to give people time to organize a response and post that by Sunday. So let me walk you through this a little bit. I think it will help. All right, so first thing we have here is the module for this week, and if I go into our assignments tab quickly, you'll see that the first thing you have is this preparation worksheet for the great debate. So individually, what you're going to do is you're going to click on this Word document and fill this out. What we're going to be doing in this debate is we're going to be debating 2 female leaders in an organizational position, higher ups in an organizational position. You're going to be looking at Colleen Barrett and Marissa Mayer. You're going to watch the video on Colleen Barrett, and I don't have a video for Marissa Mayer, it's an article. So you're going to read about these 2 female leaders. In this worksheet, you're going to fill out a column supporting that they are a servant leader and that they are not. You might clearly think that one is more a servant leader than the other, but you still have to look at it from the other side of the fence. So you still have to look at the debate from both sides of the issue. So even if you think Colleen Barrett is very clearly a servant leader, you're going to have to break it down and think really critically on ways you could maybe prove that she is not. Same thing with Marissa Mayer. You might very clearly think she is a servant leader, then you have to think very critically on how you can argue that she's not one as well. So you have to look at both sides of the issue. So in order to get full points on this, you must have something relevant written in each of the boxes, okay? So this is where your additional readings come into place. Again, I would recommend having this done by Wednesday or Thursday if you can, so then you can start posting on Friday. So how we're going to do the Great Debate assignment is actually through discussion boards. So this is how you're partnered up. This is how you're partnered up. So as you can see, group 1 is collaborating with group 2, but each individual person is partnered with someone else. So for example, Macy is partnered with Claire. Macy has to argue that Marissa Mayer is a servant leader and have an opening statement posted by Friday. Claire has to have an opening statement that Marissa Mayer is not a servant leader. So these two ladies are debating back and forth. Macy is saying she is, Claire is saying she is not. Opening statements are posted on Friday. Then by Sunday, Macy will have a rebuttal to Claire's opening statement, and then Claire will have a rebuttal for Macy's opening statement posted on Sunday. So the opening statements are posted on Friday, giving you time to figure out how to rebuttal and post that on Sunday. This is why that preparation worksheet is going to be so important. And so to help you in forming that opening argument, I think you're going to want that preparation worksheet done before Friday. The only interesting case, and this was just with the first ones because I had one odd group, is the situation at the bottom. I'll briefly explain. Sadie is debating two individuals. So how this works is Sadie will post an opening argument. Jonathan and Hoxon, you guys have to choose who's going to do the opening and who's going to do the rebuttal. You don't have to do both. So Sadie will do the opening. Let's say Jonathan does an opening. Sadie will do a rebuttal. And then Hoxon will do a rebuttal. So they'll be graded individually, but just because it's odd, that's the only way you can get it to work out in this assignment. And it's worked in the past, so it shouldn't be a problem. Otherwise, you're free to collaborate amongst your group members in helping devise opening statements. They probably shouldn't be identical, but they'll be very, very similar. But you can work together in your groups, but ultimately, as an individual, you're debating with the person you've been partnered with. So this, if you scroll through, shows you who you're debating with. And we've even set it up for you in a very clear way. So let me show you how this works. When it's time to post your opening statement, you're going to click on this link, which will lead you to discussion post. The threads have already been created for you. So as you can see right here, Macy and Claire, who was the first example, Macy is debating Claire. Right here is where you are going to post your thread for the great debate. So all you simply do is reply within this thread. So Macy and Claire are going to work solely within this. So if I was Macy, I would hit reply, and I would write my opening statement, and then I'd post it. And then Claire will go in, she'll hit reply, create her opening statement, and post it. So Macy and Claire are only working within this unit. And so what you need to do is you and your partner, all the partners that you saw on that PDF document are down here. So you just need to scroll down and find your name with your partner. If this is confusing or if you have any questions about this, please, please, please reach out to myself or the teaching team. Setting up a Zoom meeting to show you how to walk through it and click on it will be the most effective for us, I think, rather than trying to do it via email. So if there's any confusion on how this debate is set up, please let me know. But in essence, everyone has been given their own thread, and you simply go in with your thread and reply. So you do everything within that thread that's already been created for you. That will keep it very streamlined. At least it should. Okay, so I'm going to go back out. into the assignment page. So the prep worksheet, again, sooner than later. The opening statement by Friday, and then the rebuttal due by Sunday. And if you'd like to see what the peer evaluation midterm look like, it's simply a Google form. This is due by Friday. You're going to indicate which group you're a part of. You're going to rate yourself as a member of the group. What are your strengths? How can you improve? You're going to rate yourself as the assignment leader. What are your strengths? How can you improve? And then you're going to go through and do each of your members. So you'll give me your team member's name, and then you'll rate them as a contributing member and an assignment leader, okay? So if you have 6 people in your group, that means you're gonna have to do all 5 of your members. If you only have 5 people in your group, then you're gonna do all 4 of your members, including yourself up at the top. So you might not have to fill out each one of these. You won't go all the way down to the bottom. You'll just do A, B, C, and D. But there's enough. There's a group member E, just in case you have a group of 6, and we do have one group that does. All right, so hopefully that's not confusing to anybody. Okay, so I'm going to leave you off at week 8, saying full steam ahead. We're halfway there, midterm point of the 16-week semester. Please let us know if you have any questions or concerns moving forward, and I will get the extra credit team up calendar posted this afternoon after the teaching team and I meet face-to-face for our weekly meetings. Have a great week, everyone, and stay warm out there.